The coalition has called off Thursday's mass protests to allow for the resumption of the stalled bipartisan talks after Kenya Kwanza yielded to demands to withdraw Eldas Member of Parliament Adan Keynan from the committee. Now, Keynan will be replaced by his SACU counterpart, Dido Raso, while announcing the intention to call off the protests that have been marred by chaos, destruction, looting, and even death. Azimio, through co-principal Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, had demanded the removal of Keynan, whom they say was elected on a party that is an Azimio partner and could not represent Kenya Kwanza in the talks. Let's begin our broadcast with our very own Chemtai Goin.
In a brief statement, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, also a co-principal in the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, announced their intention to call off Thursday's protest with a rider that Kenya Kwanza recuses Eldas Member of Parliament Adan Keynan from the bipartisan committee that was set to engage in talks to end the stalemate that has seen the opposition convene anti-government protests, a position affirmed by Minority Leader in the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi, later this evening.
The leadership of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party met and agreed to once more suspend the mass protests that we had earlier scheduled to continue tomorrow. The coalition took this step following the decision by the Kenya Kwanza to accede to one of our demands that informed the resumption of the mass action.
Kenya Kwanza acted on Azimio's olive branch, withdrawing the nomination of the Eldas MP from the committee and replacing him with SACU Member of Parliament Dido Raso.
As we have always stated, we are willing to bend backwards for the sake of progress of the country, national unity and the stability of the nation.
Tunatarajia ya kuwa tutaweza sasa kuendelea na mazungumzo kwa njia ya amani na kwa njia ambayo itawaleta Wakenya wote pamoja.
Taking into account that we have a country called Kenya, and our national interest actually supersedes our individual interest. Recognizing that our friends on the other side, the Azimio group, I'm sure this is not going to be the end of the many shortcuts that they want to take. I do not want Keynan to be used as an excuse in the name of the other many excuses that they're likely to generate in the next few days.
The announcement resuscitating the stalled bipartisan talks, which had been hinged on the removal of Keynan, while Kenya Kwanza had also demanded that Pokot South Member of Parliament David Kosing be expunged from the Azimio side on grounds that the party he was elected on, the Kenya Union Party, had entered into a post-election agreement with the ruling Kenya Kwanza, an issue that was dismissed by the Registrar of Political Parties, who stated that there was no record in her possession of the agreement.
Instead of holding the protests, we have summoned our 7-member delegation to the bipartisan committee for fresh instructions to inform further engagement with the Kenya Kwanza side.
Azimio has settled on lawyer Paul Mwangi as the rapporteur for the Azimio side. Kenya Kwanza is yet to announce its choice.
We also wish to reiterate that we will not hesitate to resume the mass action at the slightest indication of lack of goodwill and honesty on the Kenya Kwanza side. More importantly, we send very strong warning to Kenya Kwanza over interference in the internal affairs of Azimio and its affiliate parties, including Jubilee.
Even though the talks have gone over the first hurdle, the bipartisan committee is faced with its biggest challenge yet, whether the parties will concur on the terms of engagement. Kenya Kwanza had initially stated that as per the president's 2nd June address, the talks should center on reforms of the country's electoral system and suspended the activities of the selection panel that was in the process of shortlisting possible replacements for the Wafula Chebukati-led commission. Azimio, on the other hand, had demanded inclusion conclusion in the reconstitution of the polls body IEBC that the IEBC server be opened for a forensic audit of the 2022 presidential election results, reinstatement of the Cherera 4, and that the government addresses the cost of living issues and immediately reduces the cost of unga, fuel, electricity and school fees, among others. There is also the unanswered question of whether the talks will be interparliamentary or extra-parliamentary. Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, Goin, thanks so much for that.